right, welcome into another edition of the 2023 MLB Draft Show. Smitty really came through on this one. We got another Florida kid here, Aidan Miller, JW Mitchell, Trinity, Florida. Aidan, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
For sure.
Nice to officially meet you and excited to chat it up.
Absolutely, excited to have one of the bigger sluggers, one of the bigger high school slugger bats in the class here on the show. Aidan, I want to open things up and just kind of give you the opportunity. Tell viewers, tell listeners, who's Aidan Miller, what you're like on the field, and a little bit more about your hobbies, your passions off the field.
Yeah, so on the field, I kind of like to say I have a calm approach to the game. A lot of people say that about me as well. I feel like I play better when I'm like more calmer, a lot more serious. When the moment's right, I'll get a little flair, a couple of bat flips here and there, but for the most part, pretty calm. And then off the field, I love fishing. I love weightlifting, hanging out with friends and family. It's pretty much all I do. But yeah, big in the weight room. It's like my favorite thing to do during the day for sure.
I miss those days.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to have a bunch of hobbies right now when you're having summers like you just had, man. So you probably played in every big league stadium you had a chance to this summer, and then you closed it out with a gold medal with Team USA, and then your team wins a dub in Jupiter. So just talk to me a little bit about how the summer went for you, just the whole experience, and what more you could accomplish this summer, because I don't think there is any.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. Obviously traveling all over the country, playing in big league stadiums, like meeting all these awesome coaches, all these awesome players. It's been surreal, all the relationships I've formed with all these players, and it was kind of a grind, but I'm happy it's done now. I'll tell you that. But yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the best was probably winning the gold medal down in Fort Myers. That was just, being with those guys for a month and a half. It's like the relationships you form with them. It's awesome. And then going out there, beating all the other countries to win a gold medal, it's really cool.
Absolutely.
Some big moments in that tournament too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to ask you how you would describe yourself on the field, because I think, for me, I think you're just like a prototype power third baseman, but you're a little bit better athlete than that. I mean, how would you describe yourself?
Yeah, so I say I'm definitely a power hitter, but I'll also hit for average. I think I'll always outperform my expected batting average. Good athlete. I think I can play anywhere on the field pretty well. Whether it's in right field, like for USA, I played third base, played a little bit of short, played left and right here and there. So, I mean, anywhere on the field I can play pretty much. And, yeah, gap-to-gap power hitter for sure.
Is there, really quick, Ian, is there a player that, like you say, you outperform your batting average expectations and things like that? Is there a player that you identify with in the big leagues that you kind of point to?
I love Austin Riley. I get that a lot. I love watching Bo Bichette as well because he's from where I'm from, and I kind of grew up watching him play in high school, and he's been a huge role model for me as well. But yeah, Austin Riley. I like Arenado as well. Those typical big third basemen are kind of my guys.
For sure.
Absolutely. Well, talk to me a little bit about Arkansas. You've been committed there for quite some time. It's a huge baseball, pretty much academy at this point, with a first rounder seemingly every year. So just talk to me about how what your commitment is to there, and just what it means to be a future Razorback.
Yeah, so before I was committed, I always kind of knew about Arkansas, but not too well. And I'm really good buddies with Robert Moore, and he went there obviously. And when he was there, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go take a trip up there, take one of my visits up there to go see what it's all about. And I just fell in love with it instantly. I went up there for the Florida series. It was when they clinched the SEC championship, and it was a 4:00 game, I believe, and it was 10:30 and 11 a.m. in the morning, and there was 1,000 fans tailgating for it. So it's just stuff you don't usually see, fans tailgating for baseball games. But yeah, the facilities, the coaching staff, I mean, everything about it, I just kind of fell in love with it. And then my kind of thing when I committed was where I thought I was going to get the best development from, and I truly trust all these, the Arkansas coaching staff in Arkansas to get that done for me.
Well, speaking of your development, we're going into 4-month winter here. You kick things back up in February. What sort of goals do you have for yourself in the weight room? In your baseball development, what's the next 4 months look like for you?
For sure, the number one thing I want to work on is getting faster. Getting a little more twitchy, I'd say, on the field. Because I'm gonna play shortstop this high school season, so working on that, just getting stronger. Everything just about my game that I can kind of improve on. So just working on getting stronger, faster, eating better for sure, getting a better diet. Those are the main things.
I like that.
Absolutely. Well, I want to ask you a little bit about your swing. A few months ago, a swing came on Twitter. Actually, somebody had mirrored a Bryce Harper swing, and it caught my eye. I've seen a bunch of film. I've seen you a bunch this summer, and I threw up both of those swings next to each other, and it was a lot of similarities in it. Is there a player that you look to? I know you mentioned Austin Riley, but is there a player that your swing kind of has translated from, or somebody you look at when you work on your swing?
For sure, Harper. Harper and Bo Bichette as well, because they have a lot of hand movements, and I kind of have that hitch in my swing when I load, and it's kind of something that a lot of people like and a lot of people don't like. And I think if you're on time, you can do really whatever you want with your swing. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I know Harper has that as well. Bo Bichette, they got a lot of movements, and something I worked on a lot this summer is really catching up to those high velocities. I struggled a little bit at the beginning of the summer. And it was all just about timing, just getting there early, getting to that spot earlier. So that's something that's helped me a lot, is just really seeing that fastball velo, this summer, obviously facing all these dudes, and, turning the pitching machine up, to 100 to the max velo, and then just seeing it,
I like that. I mean,
real quick, Joe, you just mentioned all these dudes you saw. Is there a fastball or is there a pitch you saw this summer that just stood out to you compared to the rest of the class? Yeah,
definitely. Charlie Soto's two-seam fastball. That thing is nasty. We were in LA, and it was the first pitch I saw. I swung at it, just shattered my bat in half. So I don't
good way to start things.
Coming from a 16-year-old too at the time, I think
it was like 97. I mean, it was crazy. It was impressive.
He's just a baby throwing 97. That's wild. I want to hit on your swing one more time, but more so like your process. Would you consider yourself like a swing scientist? Because I've seen some other features like with Perfect Game where you really break down spot after spot, like checkpoint after checkpoint in your swing. Do you like to get in the lab and really tinker, or are you more of a feel guy?
Definitely more of a feel guy. I don't really use all the data and the hit tracks and Rapsodos and all that. I mean, I'll get it out eventually if we're doing like a exit velo competition with my brother or something like that, but for the most part, it's all about feel. I know my swing, my body really well now. I think I've learned that over this past year. And if something's wrong, I usually know what's wrong, and usually have a fix for it for sure.
I like that.
Absolutely. Well, you just mentioned your brother, and that's something I wanted to hit on as well. How has seeing your brother go through the whole draft process and being a really higher draft pick in the class a few years back helped you just translate into this whole process that you've been through probably the last 16 months where everything has just gotten crazy for you?
Yeah, it's been huge. I mean, it's pretty much a cheat code having, a sibling who's gone through it. He really helped me with it, like nutrition wise, weight room stuff. I've always kind of been I'd say like a bodybuilder in the weight room doing bodybuilding movements. But before the summer, I kind of really got into like more baseball specific movements, and that's helped me a lot. Nutrition and all those things have really helped me this summer, and it's helped me maintain a healthy body throughout the whole summer. So yeah, having him and someone I can bounce back on, if I have a question about the summer, a question about the scouts, all this stuff I'm going through, he's an easy guy to talk to because he's been through it.
Absolutely.
Have you started doing any Zoom calls with scouts?
Not yet. My first one I think is tomorrow or the next day. So
okay,
it's all about to start.
Keep this in mind. You have to put the peanut butter in the fridge. That is the correct answer. It's coming. It's coming, but it's the right answer.
It's the right answer.
Mine's in the pantry, so.
Well, get that in the fridge, man. All right.
I'll do that.
All right. So, Smitty, I got no more baseball questions, man.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready for the rapid fire, my friend. I think we've touched on things that I wanted to touch on. Absolutely.
For sure. Well, I mean, let's hit on this right away. You and your brother, who's the eventual better power hitter?
Oh, me for sure.
Not even close. Not even close. All right. And I actually don't know this. Do you have an older or a younger sister?
I do have an older sister. She's 22.
Okay. Older sister. Who's the one guy with USA Baseball this summer that you would not let date your sister?
Ooh, not let date my sister. Oh, probably. He
Nick almost Sanders. Said it. He said it.
Is that popular?
So we have brought on 4 or 5 high schoolers.
Maybe the 5th or 6th guy.
Every one of you has said Nick Sanders.
Oh yeah, it's got to be.
It's got to be Nick.
Roman, Rock, you've all said Nick. I got to get Nick on the show.
If you interview every player from the circuit, they'd probably all say the same thing. So
I mean, we're trending that way. We are trending that way.
I'm gonna let Nick come on the show and explain himself.
Defend himself here, because
I won't let you air out the dirty laundry.
Yeah.
All right, last question, and then we'll get you out of here. All those USA baseball guys, who's got the worst style?
Worst style? You don't really see the style too much because we're always in, the USA clothes, but
True.
I'd probably see Dylan Cup. He's always wearing those cowboy boots and the cowboy hat. I wouldn't say it's kind of his style, I guess, but
Big
it's just
blonde hair.
different. I never really see that.
Yep, or big red hair, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Last question, Aidan. We'll get you out. We hit everyone with this. It's always our last question. What's the one random fact that you know about anything? It doesn't have to be about baseball that not a lot of people know.
Ooh, I actually just did a study about this in school. So they're bringing back the woolly mammoth from extinction. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't think many people know
That's
about
a good one, man. That's one of
a
the better
good
ones
one.
we've had. Yeah.
That's a good
That's
one.
a good one. That is pretty cool.
Right there. That's pretty good.
The last one we had, Max was trying to commit murder, so this is a much
Oh,
better.
man.
Max Clark literally was telling us how to get away with murder.
Yep.
So
that was
I
fun.
guess.
This is a little better than this. Max, I know you're watching this. We're still curious, bro.
I gotta ask him about that right now.
Aidan Miller, JW Mitchell, Trinity, Florida. I'm excited, man. I think you're going to be a high pick this next July. But even if you're not, Arkansas is landing a freaking baller. So Aidan Miller, appreciate you and looking forward to the spring.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you
brother.
guys. Had a blast.
Thanks a lot, brother. Absolutely.
All right.